Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. Today I'm again joined by Millennium
Hello.
and hi everybody. Oh, welcome to 2018 by the way. First stream this year, isn't it?
Is that Daniel Koiter, the famous 3D modeler Daniel Koiter? Oh my god, can I have your autograph?
What?
I was just making a joke, my friend.
Okay, I didn't really understand that one, but that's alright.
I was just making a joke. I make jokes, man. That's my redeeming quality.
It's so difficult to be funny though, out of my experience.
Really?
Did you ever struggle with that?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on the environment I'm in and my mood. But I think being funny is just being comfortable, making yourself be comfortable as a person.
That's a good point. That makes a lot of sense to me.
You know, so many comedians, they go up there and they're just completely scared and terrified of crowds, but they make themselves relax. They do the jokes and they end up winning the crowd over.
It's funny. It's similar to many situations in public speaking and interviews. The more confidence you bring to the table, the more you seem like you know what you're doing. It makes everybody feel like it has something in it, like something with value.
Fake it till you become it.
I quickly wanted to thank all the people in the chat, by the way, for the messages. Like some people said that, you know, us streaming and the videos that we make, that they inspire them to like go to university or study 3D or giving art an opportunity. I was just really happy to hear that.
I kind of feel a little guilty over that then.
Why?
If I helped inspire that, because man, this work can be soul crushing sometimes.
Sorry?
This work can be soul crushing sometimes.
How so?
I mean, just the long hours you need to invest in it, you know?
That's true.
It's one of those things where if you're not born with it, it's going to take a lot of effort to get it. And I'm certainly not trying to discourage anyone. What I mean is that I would never want to paint a false picture, because I'm not talented as an artist. I'm a talented tryhard. I'm a tryhard. I try really hard, and things come out better each time. But man, if I told you every single time I wanted to put my head through a brick wall.
But I feel like every artist ever goes through that. It's not like I never struggled with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much normal for me as well, to go through these times where it feels like basically nothing is moving forward, and it's very often a matter of which kind of position you're looking at the situation from. For example, somebody who has never invested any time in art will think that, you know, someone like me is quite professional already. But from my perspective, again, if I look at what the artists at the big studios do, like, I'm just, you know, starting out pretty much. So it never really ends, that kind of way of thinking.
So what topics do you have for us today, Daniel? I'm a little bit like a deer in the wind. I'm kind of flopping around. By deer, I mean sheet of paper. Because if you've seen deers, they don't really flop. They gracefully jump over fences and scare the crap out of you. Did I ever tell you, like, I had a good experience with a deer, because it was late at night, and I walked onto this property I was staying on, and there was a deer standing like 5 feet in front of me, right? And apparently I was so quiet that he didn't hear me sneak up on him.
So what happened?
Well, he just his head just shoots up, his ears just pin back, and he's just staring at me. Like, he's staring at me if I'm a hunter and he's about to die. And I'm thinking, oh god, he's gonna ram me. I can't see in the dark. I'm not gonna be able to grab hold of his antlers and this like German suplex him over my back, you know, and then he's just gonna run off in the distance. I'm gonna be okay. Instead, I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna get gored. This is it for good old Eternal. I'm dead. But luckily, he kind of just spun around in a circle and then ran off in the other direction. Like, he literally pranced in a circle and just took off running at the speed of sound.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, nature is serious.
You don't mess with Mama Nature, man.
Nature won't forgive you. I never really... Sorry.
Sorry. I was gonna say what topics you got for us, man? 'Cause that was just kind of story time.
Well, let's start by talking about what we're planning to work on today. Do you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. Right now, for those of you who subscribe to my channel, the other night I had a test stream because I wanted to see what YouTube streaming was like because I hadn't done it in months. They actually changed a few features around. Anyway, I just did a like a 2-hour sculpt from without references just to see how far I could get with it, and this was the result. Now I'm just kind of finishing it up, and I think I'm going to experiment with some hairstyles. And I've actually got a image up on reference board. It's a reference viewer that pops up on screen so that you can see it, because with ZBrush, if you touch anything on screen, then it becomes the main viewer, and anything will just go to the background. I'm using reference board, and I've got images of Devila and Popola from the Nier Automata game. You might remember them from Nier Gestalt or Nier Replicant, and I'm thinking about copying one of their hairstyles. I haven't exactly figured out which one it's going to be, but that's what my goal is right now. Is just to make a pretty hairstyle. First, I need to fix this face up.
Speaking of which, I just remembered you were talking about your anatomy series the other day. How's it going with that one?
I've been talking nonstop about it. Haven't been able to shut me up, to be honest. Well, I actually got the first episode out yesterday. It's a 40-minute long anatomy tutorial. Unfortunately, I was only able to cover the muscles of the upper arm, but I think it was somewhat in-depth. So.
Ah, cool. Well, I'll also go and check it out later, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't yet see it.
I put up another video on my channel, but I got some interesting response from that one, from Lucy, from Justin Chewy. I felt bad because I had spent so much time editing this video, because I would go in, I would write the script, I would do the research, I would rewrite the script, and then I'd record it. I'd be like, I don't like the wording, so then I'd re-record the script.
Wow. That's so much work, though. I really know what it means to go through that effort.
Yeah, and then I would finally go in and I'd sculpt it in ZBrush, and then I would say I'd mess up on my words, and I'd be like, it's not good enough. I need to go back and re-record it. So I'd re-record multiple times there until I was just tired of sculpting. But I did that one, and I don't even know why I was talking about this, but it's got somewhat of a morbid sense of humor. But yeah, I was so tired from doing that because it was a completely exhausting process that when I went in and I was done yesterday after I'd finally uploaded the video, I'm like, I tested it, it's good, control group, people like it. I'm good to put it on air. I hope it helps some people. I'm so tired, but I still want to make videos. So I made a little 1-minute video of something I've noticed in Yoko Taro games, that there's almost every single game has this in it.
Oh well, I guess people just have to go and watch it if they want to know more about it.
Yeah, don't watch that one though, because it's
I haven't yet. I just realized that there was such a thing on my subscriber kind of stream.
What, that's this subtle hint that you're playing a Yoko Taro game?
No, I just remembered that. Oh yeah, that was the video that you made just recently.
Oh, okay.
Still haven't had the time though.
There's an interesting thing about Yoko Taro games, because Yoko Taro, man, he makes the most beautiful women, and then he makes some like thing about them, like 2B's an android, kinase hermaphrodite, you know. That's how his games work. He creates beautiful female characters, and then he puts something just a little bit off about them that just like kind of ruins it for the general public.
So he was working on Nier Automata, I think, or what was he involved in?
Automata, or Automama, as I like to call it sometimes. That's what his most recent video game was. He worked with Square Enix and Platinum Studio. Familiar? They did the Bayonetta series. It was really quite an excellent made game. They're actually coming out with a third one now, which is going to be wonderful.
Man, it's amazing what kind of these great people can do with their collective efforts.
I completely agree. Yoko Taro is a hero of mine. I don't know if you've ever seen interviews with him, but he always wears the Emil head from Nier Gestalt or Replicant and Nier Automata now. Wait, you've never seen it? He's wearing the helmet.
But like generally speaking, if you have any good informative interviews with him, send me the links sometime. I'm quite curious to hear what they say.
The thing about his interviews, man, is he doesn't talk about passion. Like he's just rolling around on the ground with a t-shirt screaming Nier Automata t-shirt. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
Okay.
Or he's sitting down and he's holding a valve and he's like, my game's coming to Steam.
Oh, okay.
Or he's sitting like in a room next to a cosplayer of 2B, just in a table, and they're like 15 feet away from like a panel, and they're trying to tell him a question, and he screams as loud as he can with his face inside the Emil head, louder in English, and he makes them repeat their questions. And then when they finally translate back what he said, he's like, yes, I can't wait to give my terrible garbage ideas to Square Enix so that we can make really pretty stuff out of my terrible garbage. Like, oh. This is my kind of man.
Interesting.
This is my hero. He belongs on my we need a cardboard cutout of him on my fridge. I need to eat the serialized cereal with him on the cover.
Well, he sure must be a very unique person.
I would hope so. But anyway, I'm just kind of going off the rails there.
Okay, then let me quickly mention what I'm working on.
I'm sorry. That entire time was just somehow I went from I'm working on this Nier Automata Yoko. Oh my god, I apologize on that. I took it far.
It's okay. So what I'm working on is actually continuing on a project that I worked on this week, which I quickly want to show. So I just saved it. I hope I did. So let me open the original file. Basically, I was lucky enough to get sort of a little job to make a couple of characters the other day, and I will be working on it throughout February mainly, so I'll be a bit busy during that time. But because I have the time to prepare, I thought I would put some effort into making some good base meshes, something to work with, something that I can base my characters off. And so I came up with this sculpt here, just for making it look a bit better. I also modeled like a head, like this one here, so that it looks a bit more human, but you know, you can actually exchange it and put it into a whole different style. But what's really useful about the way I set this file up in particular is that all the body parts are still separate. And so what I can do is I can really easily go in and adjust the proportions by kind of using a big move brush and making things bigger, and then, you know, you select the next part and you adjust for it, and and it's just going to be a really, really useful tool for me to get these sort of jobs done. I can't talk more about it though, unfortunately. I don't know yet about the details, so just wanted to show that. And so now I'm practicing well how I could use this model to make a character, and basically just adding hair for now and seeing what I can do with it. Um, and also, I saw that I think some people have questions in the chat about sculpting and art and stuff. I mean, Khalil asked if we accept or take questions. Just wanted to say, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. I'm sure we can take some, we will find some good topics to talk about. And I see there is one quite interesting question already. Marvin Vernon asks, does 3D sculpting help you with 2D drawing? So what do you think?
I think that it's different for every single artist. It might and it might not.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me. How so?
For me, the way I get better at 2D is by studying anatomy. The way I get better at 3D is by studying anatomy and repetition of 3D. For me, the skills of 2D and 3D aren't necessarily related at all. They're just kind of there, you know, they're intermingled.
I see.
But I have to do separate things to get better at them all together.
So what you're saying is that the studies that you do to get better at 3D are what will also make you better at 2D, but then it is not getting better at 3D that necessarily increases your skill in 2D.
Yes, and that's just for me.
But that makes sense if you put it in that way. I guess I can agree with it as well. I was thinking that most of the time, the things that you will do for getting better at 3D, I mean, they're very likely to help you in 2D. Or, I mean, at least at some point, you know, you practice and you try to get better at 3D, you will realize at some point that you have to study a little bit about 2D art in order to get better at 3D. And so it just forces you into getting better at it. It's not really that you necessarily have to do it both together, but there's more than enough reason to get into it. Do you draw, by the way? I never really... Oh, sometimes. I saw a cat ninja that you made.
What? No, that's not mine.
Oh, that's not yours?
No, I won it.
Oh, I thought you made it.
No,
okay.
I won it from another artist on a stream. I got to have any picture I wanted drawn out, and I'm just like, give me a cat samurai.
How lovely. Well then, do you draw?
Sometimes, when I'm happy.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a really dumb one. I draw a lot to concept. I'm gonna start getting into it more, but right now I'm focusing on learning anatomy, and for the most part, it's just I'm really concentrating on the anatomy because I feel like I can better replicate things in the world, and my imaginal sense of what things are or what they could look like really are greatly improved as long as I have a current understanding of what is like anatomy, you know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Makes sense. The chat really agreed with you. Yes, we all draw when we're happy. That's relatable. Oh, and we're using ZBrush, by the way, just to clear out this question quickly.
No, you're using ZBrush Core and I'm using ZBrush Pretty.
Exactly. To be very specific.
Should I stop messing around and actually get serious with this now?
What are we trying to do with it now?
I was just making like a forest god.
And also, you should really add ears. Is there any reason why you like 2 years later on?
I think honestly you never really see ears on my models because there's always hair covering them, so I don't necessarily think of them as the most important feature to modeling. And I like to look at the shape of the face without the ears
really?
To have the understanding of the face, the symmetry, if you will. Make sure I know that I'm doing it right.
It's interesting. For me, it's very distracting if I don't see ears. It makes it so difficult for me to understand, like, if it's already good or if I'm missing something.
To me, it's like adding hair before things. Oh my god. Made her look angry.
Okay, let me read a question here. So Kaylin is asking.
By the way, I'm not allowed to read questions anymore, so.
Of course you're allowed.
That's why I'm just silent, sitting in my corner. I'm just kidding.
So what he writes is, Daniel, you mentioned that up to 4 to 5 years ago you weren't good at drawing, but you were good at sculpting. What did you do to improve your drawing skills? Did you study perspective before anatomy? Actually, I started learning drawing before I started sculpting. So I went from 3D modeling to from 3D modeling to drawing to sculpting. And wait, what was the second part? Did you study perspective before anatomy? In my case, I never really... I always loved perspective for some reason. I really had never struggled with perspective, so I never studied it really. Also because, I mean, when we're doing 3D modeling and stuff, it just comes so natural to just know how perspective works. Anatomy, on the other hand, was something that came way later when I started being more serious about drawing and characters in particular. That's when it became important. And kind of a question that I want to draw out of this conversation is, do you think, Millennium, that we should kind of split up our process of studying into sort of skills and to learn them separately and in certain orders, like for example perspective and anatomy? Or do you think it's maybe different than that?
Let me think.
I'm really not sure myself.
Honestly, I have no idea because I learn unconventionally in terms of learning methods, and the processes I do are very unconventional. So it's... I really couldn't give an answer on that. It's like what gets me better at 3D modeling? Well, I could say 3D modeling or I could say anatomy. It all depends on where I'm at when I'm doing it. For me, there's very little that I can say for certainty that, you know, it's one of those things where you would want to start on an aligned path, see what you're good at, see what your weaknesses are, focus on those weaknesses, make them strong, and just try to have all your bases covered, be a well-rounded artist, and then see where your talents develop from there. Once you have a good foundation and understanding, then you grow and you see where your specialty will lie, in 2D and 3D and all those things. That's when it comes to how should you split up your learning paradigm. It's different for every person. I mean, there's all these studies where they say, oh, you're this kind of learner, you're that kind of learner. I don't know. I've never found that to be true for everything, that there can be a category for every single type of learner. Rather much, there are some people that can fit in some categories, and there's some that just cannot, you know. So I'm in a category that I feel doesn't really fit in with the other ones. That's why it's hard for me to learn this kind of stuff. But in that same sense, I can just share what I've done and say, here's what I've done. I don't know if that'll work for you, but this is what I've done. This is the advice I would have given myself.
I see it in a similar way, especially for the part where you said that you just have to see for the moment what works best for you. But I was kind of got curious, why did you choose to focus on anatomy these days? Because I think you do quite a bit of anatomy recently.
I had a lack of understanding of anatomy and I decided to do it.
Is it like an interest related to anatomy, or is it because you feel it will get you further in art, or?
Well, how can you model something if you don't understand it?
Well,
How can you replicate something if you don't know what it is?
I guess the argument is that knowing the surface is enough. What people would probably, yeah.
What
say
about movement?
against it. Well,
Well, I mean,
I agree
here's
that we
one-
need it. It's hard
What
to
about
think
a
of the
horse,
opposite
man?
argument.
What about a horse?
Yeah, I see where it gets difficult, but that's a good answer, I guess, because understanding.
No, but, I mean, seriously, what about a horse? Think about a horse. What does a human have in common with a horse?
Well, anatomy.
A lot. It has the
Yeah.
same amount of bones.
That's why, personally, I agree with the opinion, anyways, that kind of should study it, but I was just trying to figure out how other people could look at it.
So, I want to return some of these questions back at you, my friend, because that's all I do is talk. But how do you think a person should split up their learning processes, if at all?
I think it's very important to always continue reconsidering the situation, because situations always change from beginning from the things we want to do and things we already can and things we know and things we don't know. We might not see an efficient way of how we can get better at 3D art because we're missing some knowledge, and after we acquire that knowledge, we would have to give ourselves another chance and to reconsider our strategies in order to make use of it. And so it really isn't too beneficial, in my opinion, to set very to be very strict with the goals that you set for yourself. For example, when you want to study anatomy, it makes sense to study anatomy, and it will be very like people easily start saying that, okay, I will now study anatomy for like 2 hours every day, and I will study all these 200 muscles until I know all the names. But then if that becomes the only goal of doing that, I feel like it misses the point. Like, we need to, in that situation, we need to, like, even if it means giving up this goal, we might need to reconsider it from time to time and see if maybe in the current situation studying perspective might not be more important. So it's a lot of reflection, actually. The mindset is way more important, I feel, than what we study. The way we study it, the way we think about the things we study, kind of influence it, in my opinion, a lot more. How much we remember of it, and how well we understand it, how well we can apply the knowledge that we gained. Pretty much.
Interesting.
What do you think about that?
I think that different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, it's
Now
really...
the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for some, what is right for some, we might right for some.
It's indeed
like
very
that.
difficult to say it for everybody, but I feel like people in the chat are doing the right thing with, asking around, getting opinions, thinking about if it's good for them. Like, I see they're playing with the thoughts of, what should I do, and that's already the best place to start. So I really think that most people are on the right track in that sense. What else do we have there? There's so many comments.
I know, this is what happens when you don't read them.
How long did it take you to get used to ZBrush? That's funny. I like that a little bit, because ZBrush, don't you think ZBrush has an it makes so much sense once you understand how to use ZBrush. It's like perfect, but at the beginning it makes so little sense.
Well, ZBrush is like learning something outside of your own language, in the way that Blender, Maya, all
It's
these other
different from
standard
everything.
industry standard programs kind of follow around the same lines. Maya is very similar to Blender in certain aspects. I'm not talking about like, I'm just talking about how things are, how you spawn objects in the world, the different modes, the different windows, the different, the node system and that kind of thing, you know, that kind of design element. They're certainly not the same program, but you can do a lot of the same stuff with them. On the other hand, ZBrush is something new. There's nothing really like it, and it's designed from a really intelligent standpoint, but it's not designed to be like any of the other programs that you can just plug in and start using it, like if you swapped over from Maya or Blender or something like that, because those are far more interchangeable than if you were doing Maya versus ZBrush. ZBrush itself, it is a completely different design style. It is completely different in terms that it's aesthetics, its flow. It's just a completely different type of program. It's like learning a different language, essentially, different from your own. My experience in learning ZBrush was that it was so far removed from any kind of mechanical thinking, and it was rather organic, that I actually hated it when I got it. When I got it, I hated it. But after a while, I started to love it and see really what it is, and how you can move faster with it, and it's a great tool.
It has so many secrets to it.
Is
there any feature recently that you figured out that you kind of never heard about anywhere?
Well, when they added the live Boolean system for 4.8R, or 4R8 rather, sorry, I said that backwards. I remember watching the live stream when they're like, guys, check out this new stuff, and I was on the Pixelogic website and I was watching it. I was just mesmerized at the things that they were doing, with panel loops and the live Boolean operation and this and that, and I'm like, I want this, and then they're like, hey, guess what, guys, the update goes live like an hour after this video ends, this live stream ends. And they didn't even do that. They actually gave it to us right there in the spot, like when the stream was ending. So we didn't have to wait. And it was just like, oh my god, well, this feature has been missing from my life.
Must be nice to have ZBrush Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty sorry.
There you go. With the live Boolean operation, it just you've got so much. You've got so many options. As long as you can create objects that are correct in their own design, you can.
I really badly want to have these features now.
Just, you know.
When do you think will they release ZBrush 5?
Man, I don't even know. I'm new to Pixelogic, to be honest. I'm a newcomer to Pixelogic. So to me, it's like I have no conceivable notion as to when they're gonna do it. But I
really hope it's soon.
I hope they're not gonna charge too much.
I heard it's going to be free to upgrade.
I hope so, because I did spend quite a bit of money on this.
Yeah, but it's at the same time the same worry about that keeps me from buying a license right now. Because I feel it will be a huge update from the rumors and what people kind of say. I feel like it will be a major redesign. And so I just don't want to be sitting there with my old license and no money.
Yeah. So
I'm telling myself to live with this version of ZBrush for now. Oh, I wanted to show you something, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Back a little bit to the topic of game companies and games. Have you ever heard of a website called Game Dev Map?
Never heard of it.
Can you open a browser on your site?
Sure.
It comes up right away if you just type Game Dev Map all together, small. It's a really interesting project. I can bring it up on the stream. Let me see.
Okay. So it's basically a hot map.
Yes, for the stream here is. I'm just covering your your area of the screen for a second, okay? So basically, it is a map of the world, and there are many dots, and And at all these locations, you can click on them, and then below it you'll get a list of all the game developments going, like studios and organizations that develop games in that area.
Interesting.
And it's just a lot more than I thought there would be. I was looking at studios in Japan, for example, because I was interested in what's available, and I only found like 6 or 7 or something. And then looking at this list, it's beyond 200 or so, with all places together.
Wow, there's like just in my state alone, there's about like 280 results.
Isn't that cool, really? I mean,
a lot of them outside my area, so it's just depressing, man.
okay, what are the right places to go to in your opinion? What are the companies the game studios to work for in your opinion?
None.
None?
It's a trap, man.
Oh, that's a good answer.
What are the game companies to go to that you would recommend? What is the great Daniel? You know, I almost said it. I almost said what my nickname was for you.
Your nickname?
Oh. Yeah, I have a special nickname for you.
Oh, that one.
And you're like, don't ever tell anyone that.
But
and I'm like,
you mentioned it on stream once before, anyways.
No, I didn't.
I'm pretty sure you did, because I remember having noticed once, and I was like, okay, whatever.
No one ever caught it. I can.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, you know, people, you can go back and listen to all the 10 streams and figure it out.
Dude, that's too many streams. Don't do that to them. That's torturous. It's like, hey, why don't you go watch 8 hours of me talking and sculpting? It's like, watch that enough, man.
I love how in the first stream, though, people actually went back to find the picture on Skype, the profile picture.
It was Iris. It was Wishing Iris who did that.
But he gets credit for that. I was gonna say something. What was I going to say?
I was gonna say a lot of things.
Oh, you asked me about the game company thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the middle of organizing something that I hope it leads to more artists in Japan starting their own things instead of being employed in companies. Basically, what I'm trying to do is to gather talented people in modern art.
Hold on a second. I'm hearing the beep. That's the same beep I heard when there was a car crash. I'm gonna go look at it real quick.
Ah, sure. So then I'll tell everybody else in the meantime. So basically what the project is about is gathering the talented people from around the country and organizing for them some environment that will allow them to be productive together. Because I see that, especially for young people who are not yet in the industry, they're very talented people around the country, but they're not given really an opportunity to do amazing projects because they just don't know the right people yet. They're all attending different universities, all studying various things, and they could be doing great things together, but it's just kind of too much. Like it's not near enough. It's very inconvenient, and you'd have to put lots of effort into it. And so if there was a way to bring all of them together, something that people would just know about, like imagine, like, you know how there's, for example, Blender Nations for Blender projects. Everybody who gets into Blender knows it, and they will go there for news and that sort of thing. It would be good if all people getting into art would know that, you know, they can aim for trying to become part of that one collaborative group, and so then when they get in, they can do great projects and people can look forward to their next results, and that's pretty cool. Millennium, you're not back by chance, are you? I guess not. Let me then just take the time to see a little bit what's going on in the chat.
Guess who's back?
Oh, you're back then.
Okay, I'm back. So I asked my friend Ryoko Rei Akuma, how do I become a better artist? And you know what he said? He's like, well, man, learn anatomy. And that's why I started learning anatomy. That was the prompt. Daniel?
Yes, I'm here.
Hold on one sec. I can't hear you.
Hello?
I cannot hear you at all.
Can everybody else hear me?
Okay.
Can you now hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
It's right there. He's the reason why there's the tutorial anatomy series. By the way, I'm going to continue that series. I don't know if it's even going to be popular, but I'm pretty sure it has some validity in the things we're learning, because to understand something, to emulate something, you have to have an understanding of what it is. And now I understand, like, in a complex nature of how the muscles move, how they look, the different aspects, the different pieces. I struggled with biceps and triceps. Now I've got them pretty well. We have the brachialis as well. But anyway, yeah, Ryu, you're the inspiration. Remember how when I was doing the elf, and I was like, Ryu, what do I do? And you're like, honestly, man, just learn anatomy. Because the reason why you can't do it is because you haven't learned anatomy. And it was just like the cold, brutal truth I needed to hear. That yeah, I hadn't learned anatomy, and that's why I wasn't able to do it correctly, because I was missing out on the vital detail of anatomy. So I created that series, and I'm going to continue it, even if it doesn't get many views, to be honest. If it's going to help a few people, that's great. I created it for that purpose, to help myself as well with anatomy, because man, it's a difficult subject for me.
Anatomy is such a hard thing to, like, how do I say it? It's not just about knowing or remembering. It's like being able to use it as well. It's very difficult to work with anatomy.
Well, if you watch my video, Daniel, I make it easy. I make anatomy easy with a Zeta.
I'll make sure
amateur
to check
artist,
it out.
A ZBrush tutorial for amateur artists by amateur artists.
Okay, let me bring up another topic then. Or do you see anything in chat that you want to talk about? Let's quickly give everybody a chance.
Oh, I have permission to read chat? Okay, yay!
Yeah,
yay!
you have permission.
Eternal's back!
Let's give the chat like 10 minutes or so, okay? Or 50 minutes. Let's just talk about chat stuff for a moment.
15 minutes. Alright, let me go read real quick.
Chat, that's your opportunity.
I'm gonna start from the bottom, work my way up. To make hentai. What the heck? Game dev here, can't draw, but you teach me a lot of stuff.
Hello, everybody.
I think he's talking to you.
Sorry, which comment?
Mr. Kekson said, game dev here, can't draw, but you teach me a lot of stuff for me. That one's aimed at you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Glad to be able to make a difference there.
Eternal, why are you learning 3D anatomy by drawing? I'm taking a sabbatical from drawing because that's what I want to do. I wanted to work on other projects, and somehow I'm just going with the flow right now. 3D, this anatomy, this tutorial series, making videos again. That's what's in my life right now. And I'm not going to force it. For once, I'm going to go with the flow, and hopefully I can retransition it later and just go back to drawing. But I want to work on drawing, and I would have done the anatomy series, but for some reason I'm being led back to the 3D aspect of it. Alright.
I'm pretty sure it must be fun to...
It's your turn to read a few. What?
No, I was just saying it sure sounds fun to, like, you know, really find a good purpose of doing a project and just investing your all into it for a moment. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that from like whenever projects come up that I get excited about. It's just so nice to like really have a mission. It's like a mission almost. You just want to give your best at it.
It's fun. I had a lot of fun making that pilot episode. I'm just hoping that I can keep the other ones funny.
I think the concept is like really good because I mean anatomy is so hard as we talked about, but and like especially for beginners it's so hard to get into it, but I think you make it very easy, like approachable for new people.
I mean, that was the idea. I wanted to throw in my own brand of humor. Like when I talk about the tricep brachii, I kept throwing in pictures of a triceratops, you know, because the triceratops has 3 horns and the
Makes
tricep
sense.
has 3 muscle heads.
Yeah.
So I wanted there to be a funny connection about it, so that way people are like, tricep, okay, that's 3. You know, maybe they don't know it's Latin for 3-headed muscle of the arm, but they'll know that it's got 3 heads, and if they understand that those 3 heads kind of look like a deformed pig foot, then they can model it and they won't have trouble with it, you know? Same way like my anatomy reference with the deltoid. Like to me, it looks like a football. Like, it looks like the top part of a football that's kind of stretched over the shoulder joint, and then it meets up against a scapula, the spine of the scapula, actually, the acromion process, as well as the clavicle or the collarbone, you know. And just in doing that series, I can actually talk about this stuff and know what I'm talking about when you've got your anterior, your lateral, and your posterior heads on the deltoid. So it's just, I gained a lot from just doing that series. So it definitely wasn't just for the fans. I got so much out of it just from that one episode. So I'm gonna continue. I'm talking about it a lot, I know. It's fun to make something that is really helpful. You pour your heart into and you get something good out of it, regardless of how popular it would get. But to me, it was totally worth it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must feel the same way about your anime tutorial series, that you learned a lot while doing them. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah, teaching is honestly a really good way to learn things yourself. Although I want to say that it's, in my opinion at least, very important to always make sure not to even try to position yourself as the person who knows the answer. I mean, that's a bit of an opinion from my side, but I never think that people should even try to say that they know the truth. Probably there is no truth in first place, and it is very likely that there's other people doing it better, and that doesn't make it a bad thing to share it, even though we're just starting out. It's just important to kind of protect the viewers by clarifying the position. You know, this is information that comes from my view of things. It might be useful to you, but how you want to make use of it, you know, that's up to you. And so at least for my videos, I always try to make that very clear.
I see.
I really don't know where I'm going with the sculpt, by the way. I'm like continuing to sculpt on the same part for like so long, just to avoid having to make decisions. That's the thing with talking and sculpting at the same time. Like, you can
need to
sculpt.
go to Twitch, man. You need to go to Twitch and learn that training ground.
No. Like, there's a difference, kind of. I mean, as in, I can totally sculpt and speak, but I cannot make decisions and speak. So all design has to be already like decided on a concept or something. If it's just execution of a fixed design, it's totally possible to talk, in my opinion. But right now I'm thinking about, okay, what can I do with this? And so I'm making no progress at all because it just doesn't work. I would have to talk to myself almost to figure out the answers to these questions. It's really fun how you actually do that, probably talking to yourself to find like answers in design decisions.
Sometimes.
Just realized that for myself.
Generally there's so much going on in my head, I'm like a crazy person, that when I end up kind of talking to myself, it's a really bizarre point of view. Like when I'm writing my scripts, because I've got a new video coming out, and I'm not even talking about the ZBrush anatomy. I got something special coming out that I only came up with the prompt I think this morning. I'm like, I'm making this video because I made a video last night in like in 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I want to make this. Finally feeling passionate about making videos. It's been like 3 years since I took my sabbatical in the movie industry and all that crap. But all of a sudden, like, I'm ready to start making stuff again. It feels good, but I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, but when I'm writing scripts, it's all happening. I'm seeing it play out in my head, and all I have to do is just make sure that I have the capacity, the skills, and the programs. By the way, the program I'm currently using to make films is a piece of shit. And the knowledge and understanding to make it happen. It's like I have all these designs in my head like I'm some crazy man predicting the future and telling everyone to invest in like cucumbers or something, because you tape them to your head, you can prevent like solar radiation from permeating and destroying your brains, you know, stay in good harmonics. So I'm always thinking I'm some kind of crazy man, but sometimes I do talk to myself, but that's kind of the latter end of things, and I'm not actually that crazy.
Well, I think it makes sense.
Kind of nervously laughing. There's a crazy man on my stream.
No, I don't really see why people... Okay, well, it makes sense. Yeah, people who talk to themselves might be considered crazy for various reasons. But I mean, there is lots of like situations in which it makes sense.
Sorry, I started laughing. I was like, Daniel, I'm not laughing at you. Don't worry. I just wanted to let you know that I wasn't actually laughing. I was thinking of a funny video.
Speaking of which, what do you think about like how much should people care about what others say, to what extent, and how much should they be true to themselves?
Man, you gotta be true to you. You gotta wait.
Like
the
here
question
is,
was how.
Can I add something to the question?
Yes, please.
Because it is,
confusing.
I think we can agree that it is very important to be true to yourself and, like, you know, have your own opinions, say what you think. But
yeah.
the big but here is that some people misunderstand it and they take it as an excuse to just be awfully selfish and like arrogant and like kind of behaving as if they know the truth for everything. And that's of course not what we mean by that, I think, right? How would you put it? To what extent should people believe themselves?
The people that are the best at what they do break the rules, not the laws. If you want to be a conqueror, if you want to be a maverick at something, you cannot accept anyone's limitations, not even your own. And in that vein of thought, I think that the best... Sometimes we shield ourselves with our egos until we make it because we want to be the best. And deep down inside, we might not actually think we're the best at something, but we shield our egos and we protect ourselves with this ego barrier of I am the best until we become the best. And that that nature, that the ability to say what you want or do what you want becomes realistic. It becomes real because you are the best at what you do. And that's all I have to say about that.
I'm a bit confused, but I think there were some quite good views in it. so the one you said about break the rules but not the law.
Exactly.
Kind of made sense to me. It really sounds like a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, because laws exist so that we can function in society with one another, but rules are something else. Sometimes they can be a hindrance, sometimes they can be a help. It's for everyone to decide what they want. Trying to be the best at something, for example, let's just say if someone was trying to be the best at something, they're going to aim at something outside the normal standards. It's to be the best at something. It's a different paradigm. It's a different place of operation. The rules don't necessarily apply the same way. The laws apply, but it's a different structural basis entirely. It's a different kind of existence. You become something unique. I don't know. It's it's hard to talk about because I'm certainly not the best at anything. I'm certainly egoic, but
I think what's important in this whole situation is that I feel it's very wrong for people's own sake to source their whole like motivation and happiness from other people. I feel like that's a big mistake, because what the situation that I see sometimes happening is that people will be somehow, whatever it is, and people around will give them feedback, positive and negative, depending on what the situation is. But then some people take very strong effect from it, like, you know how upset people can be when, you know, they're a bit they don't get much attention from the surroundings and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it's a question, you know, is that a reason for you to change? Should you change yourself to adapt so that people will start to like you, or should you stay yourself and and you know, and in my opinion, it is important very important in this situation to stay true to yourself to a very far extent, as in, you know, don't give up too quickly on your views just because people around you won't accept it. But then at the same time, I really don't want to say that, you know, if the person in question is just like you know, shouting around all the time and just wondering why people around will not like that person, that's not the situation that I mean. It's more related to, like, for example, how artists, you know, they get quite isolated because, you know, they do art and people don't understand it well. Should they give up art now because people around them don't understand it? No, of course not. But I mean, if people ignore you because you're just being a bad person, well, that's something different.
Yeah, I'm usually a bad person a lot of times, so I know that one. I'm not joking when I say it, because I can go through my Discord and I'll be like, you know, I'm a bad person, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, a horrible person. Punish me. Okay, not really. That's going too far. But I know what you mean. It's such the human experience, and I say the human experience because I think if there's aliens out in the universe, and I don't know if there is or isn't, but I think if there is, I think that they might look at us sometimes and they might go, what the fuck are they doing? Because we have such a unique culmination of our society, our own ego, our selfish desires, our instincts, our personality. We have so many conflictions within our reality. We don't live simply out of the sense of, oh, we're autonomous, we're automatons, we were born, we go in the workforce, we die, we serve the people, we serve the next generations. We don't do that. We have intricate stories that are intertwined through our family histories, our personal histories. It's a very contrived life, or maybe contrived is not the right word, but it's a very complex life we live. So when we're talking about these synchronistic complexities, these complications like gears in a watch that have to turn correctly to, you know, bring an outcome, like dealing with people with large egos, it's one of those, you have to trust your heart, you have to trust your mind, not subject yourself to be victimized or abused or anything like that, but you just have to do what's right for you, because there is no best answer, in my opinion. There's only the truth of the situation that you're currently in while you're in it, you know, because our lives are that complex. No one's situation is the same. sometimes we go, I'm in the same situation, but there's always these little idiosyncrasies, these little
Mm.
differences. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
It's an important topic though, because it makes so much of our happiness in life. It can destroy so much and take so much life quality away from us. But it's just a matter of changing the way we think.
Yeah.
So I really hope that people can consider that and just deal with it in a way that's good for themselves in their lives.
Yeah. What's up?
By the way, do you think artists have a problem of isolation? Getting
Depends
isolated?
on the artist. It totally depends on I know some artists, man, they're like the bee's knees of the party. They call people up on their phone. They're like, come to the park right now. And then you go to the park and they're there. They've got spare paper. They've got spare
How
brushes.
can they be good at art though if they're that kind of person? Like the thing that happens is that
here's the thing, but they bring in other people. They sit down at the park. They're like, pull up a brush, start drawing with me. I don't want to hear that you can't do it. Just let's have a good time doing it. And then like, that's the person that gets better art while having fun with others. You know what I mean? They are never isolated. They are the lives of the party.
I never really heard of that.
It's uncommon. It's uncommon, but that is a very social artist. Very much a social person, my friend was. She used to do that, actually. That was an experience I had.
Wow.
She's like...
That must be nice.
Yeah, no, it was. Sadly, we're not friends anymore because I don't live out where I used to, but that was in my college years. But she's like, Vincent, come to the park. It took me an hour to get to the park because I didn't know where it was, and I kept driving. I kept missing the turn. It took me an hour. I'm like, I'm finally at the park. She's like, you're gonna draw. And I'm like, okay. And so she hands me like a mason jar full of water and hands me a color pastel or watercolor set. And I'm like, I don't like watercolor. She's like, you're gonna draw, you're gonna paint, you're gonna like it. And you know what I did? I absolutely loved it. I drew a panda with this rainbow going over his head and like these comets, and it was the cosmic panda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just that was my experience with a very social artist.
That's inspiring though. It's good to know that being an artist does not require isolating yourself and practicing for 10 hours alone all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people will end up doing. Because when you have people around yourself, you're just too distracted usually, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I took that question. I took the prompt and like, I'm like, let me tell a story about the cosmic panda. I'm sorry, I wasn't really following it. Went off topic.
But it makes sense though. It's quite a good, like, contrasting view on that topic.
I think most artists are solitary creatures. I would like to just say that, but no, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, well, I mean, I did interrupt you right there, but I'm just saying that like most artists are solitary people. I think that there's some, like, I'm a very social kind of person, believe it or not. I'm not introverted as people think. That's why I like streaming, is because I like having conversations. I like talking with people. But when I'm creating the real work of art, I need to be alone. When I'm creating the stuff that people don't get to see that I work on, I'm usually alone. Okay, Ryu, I'll take a look at that. All right. I'll take a look at that.
I'm just reading the chat a little bit. Sorry
Yeah.
for this silence. Somebody asked what I'm sculpting. Well, I'm not sure, but I'm sculpting a character. I have a picture that it is inspired from, and I add many details as I wish, but
Yeah.
Let's just see where it gets. Somebody calls her short, but that's alright, because I don't think that tall is better. And what else do we have?
There's a lot of talk of hentai in the chat. I just scrolled through it. A little bizarre.
I'm just getting there. Let me read. Okay. As for how to, like, a very quick answer. I don't want to go on that into detail. For everybody wondering, how can you become a modeler? How can you learn modeling? Where did we learn it from? I think most of it is really from thinking about how can I become better, finding some solutions that we think will work, and then just doing them. It's not that all answers are in tutorials and that the answers in the tutorials work for us. I would say that it's 80%, 80 to 90% our own work, efforts that we put into it without following tutorials, without, just experimenting, making a theory that, if I do this, I think it will work, and then trying it and failing and seeing, okay, this didn't go well, and then trying something else and getting it right and saying, okay, this is what I will do from now on. So pretty much. If you want to add something, feel free to. Just quickly.
Oh, no. I think I just want to share how I got better. I just watched anime. Made me a better artist.
But I have to say, they give you a great mindset, like a way of thinking.
What's that?
Like Japanese animation, the way their story writing is made and everything. They give you this appreciation for a lot of things that help you in learning, I feel.
Actually, when I was learning how to make good stories and whatnot, as a writer, I consumed a lot of animation. And the reason for that is you can always spot flaws so easily in animation and writing. It's very easy to pick them apart and understand where they may have made a mistake, where the writing's weak, where they're just cashing in on stuff, or when something's actually genuinely good. So it's a really big tool. It's a great learning tool, actually. I know people are like, that's just dumb, you're just watching cartoons. But I'm like, nah, man, it actually did help me get better at my my craft.
Can I ask another question? Kind of interested, a bit off topic, a bit more on your end of writing. Like, how would you describe or how would you recognize talent in writers? For me, it's very easy to tell in 3D modeling by seeing how people work, if they're actually talented, if they have the potential. But I would absolutely have no idea how to spot a talented person in writing, because it's so much about subjective, if I read a story, it would be more a subjective matter, do I like it or not? But how would you tell if a person is good regardless of taste?
Man, you're asking me to give up my well-earned secrets.
That's what people come here for.
There's a lot that I don't tell people. Like, there's a lot I hold back, my friend.
Well, anything that you can share.
You just gotta trust your heart and soul, man.
What an answer. Okay, I can tell you why I get to that question. Maybe it makes more sense then. Because
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah? No, I was just gonna say, I always say things and then you're like, okay, explain it. I'm like, do I have to?
So I'm quite intensively working on this website that will, a project to gather talented people. And in order to make these projects happen, that could be games or movies or whatever, they will involve people who are writers, just as well as musicians and everything. But in order to make a good team, I need to understand more about those aspects as well, in order to have an understanding of what teams will function well, what kind of skill sets we need within that team. So I was hoping I could get a little bit out of it to get a better idea of what person I'm looking for in such a team.
I wouldn't know the first thing to tell you, my man.
Listen to your heart.
Exactly. There you go. Believe in the you that believes in me. I don't know. Go watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and see what you can get out of that. Like, I don't know. And I'm still trying to figure out how this hair is supposed to happen.
Hair?
Oh no, I've got...
Do you think it's difficult? Or what's your feeling towards doing hair?
This is a very, very complex... I'm doing, I'm pretty sure it's Devila's hair from Nier Automata. And it just looks so good. Like, I feel bad because I did, like, Popola's hair. You can see them standing next to each other. And Popola's hair is, like, really simple. Devila's hair is, like, really complex. So, I think that... I don't know how to put it. Hair can be complex, but if I was doing this with, like, strands... and I was using, like, Blender, it might be easier, it might be harder. It's just not something I have a lot of, ability with. It's not something I have a lot of, experience with, to be honest.
I'm so glad that we can sculpt it, though, because it takes forever if you model it by hand in Blender. Like, I hope there are better tools, and there are, I know, but I just haven't yet gotten into that workflow, but for now this is like a good way to just get some hair done quite quickly.
Yeah.
But clothes is still very difficult for me personally. Hair is fine, I think. I kind of got the hang of it, but clothes is still something I would struggle with. Simulating works a lot better for me at the moment, but I see that eventually the more you want to go abstract and creative, you'll need to do it by hand.
I see what you mean.
But anyways, that's just one aspect out of many, I guess.
I'm slowly getting there. Slowly getting there, Daniel. Let's start with a C. Which one is it? No.
Wondering what I should do with her. With my character. How did it go on your end? Did you get anything done?
I'm slowly getting the hair done. Here, let me show you. It's just right now I'm trying to figure out, I want to make the character look a little bit more like, I don't know, I kind of want to give her like clothing real quick, but I'm trying to figure out what tool to use right now.
Oh man, you have so many brushes. You have so many features and tools.
Is that envy I hear? Is that brush envy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know, if you think about it, I don't have VR and you do.
Yes, that's true. Speaking of things that we have, what a topic.
Yeah, I don't know why you're giggling so much.
No, it's just thought I would mention it. I'm going to do a video about a 3D printer soon.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I just got the chance. So here's the story quickly. There is this online store, dealer, I don't know what you call it, called GearBest, and they contacted me and were like, hey, do you want a 3D printer? We'll give you one if you make a video. And so because really there wasn't anything beyond that, it just didn't sound like a bad idea. They didn't ask me to say anything particular in my video. They offered me to make money through an affiliate link, but I rejected that offer. So it's just a normal link. Like, it is a link to their page, of course, in the description, but that they want to see. But it's not like I'm making any money off that, or it's not like I'm trying to advertise anything. It's really quite straightforward and unbiased opinion on a 3D printer that I'm getting, well, for free. So it's really cool to get that opportunity.
It's very nice.
Yeah, and chat, come on, be a bit more grown up. I'm just seeing the conversation is going a bit crazy. And yeah,
this is what happens when Millennium doesn't read the chat. I get ornery. All right, let me see.
I mean, I can take care of it, but I'll just see if it continues.
I mean, there's no reason like to ban anyone.
No,
I mean,
of course not. I don't want to do that.
That's what happens when you ignore the kids, Daniel.
But I think I'll put someone on timeout because. Yeah.
I mean, you should have tried to speak to him, my friend.
Yeah, we'll see. They're back in a couple of minutes anyways. I didn't ban anyone.
True. Now I feel bad.
Well, anyways, let's not be bothered by that too much. Does anybody want to say anything in the chat? I see your name being mentioned in the chat too.
Yeah. Like, why have you abandoned us, Eternal? You know, I think it's important to have the transparency that there was the kind of change in format that we were trying to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that, because this is interesting to me, because this is not normally my style. You know
of the stream?
Yeah.
I can talk about it a little bit. Oh man. Okay, I'll think about the stream later. So what I want this stream to be is kind of like a little hangout for people to come and talk and listen about art. I mean, it's just comfortable and like creating a comfortable atmosphere where there is an ongoing conversation about art. And when listening to it, when I listen to streams like this, usually it will motivate me to get started myself. You know, when I kind of lost motivation to do something on that day, I will go and listen to a stream and it will remind me, oh, actually, you know, there's something I want to try out. It will kind of inspire me to do something. And like inspiring all these, it's definitely not entertainment from my perspective. I want to contribute something that's useful to people. It is, I mean, there are more than enough people on YouTube who entertain you guys way better than I can do. And what I want to contribute to the community is what I can offer, which is a little bit of education, inspiring, and sharing a very sharing my mindset that I feel can be useful to many people.
Yeah, because I think it's good to have a clarity of the nature because it seems like chat is actually agitated as to why there's been like a huge change in format, and that's why comments seems to gotten a little derailed, which is all right, you know, it happens. But it's interesting to state the intention for the stream to be what you want it to be. In a sense. It's actually, you're the only person I think I know of that wants to create that type of atmosphere, which I think is quite nice. Usually
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I have my own streams that I like, of course, and the difference from me to them is that they actually have serious professional experience and I'm just kind of a hobbyist at this point. But I try to create a similar value to what they can offer. I mean, they can of course offer the real advice. So as I can only provide my opinions, instead I try to make up for it by doing the inspiring and giving an atmosphere that is productive kind of aspect of it.
Yeah.
What do you want to say? You were about to say something.
I was just going to say, it's interesting how we've got a different style, in the sense that my streams, because they're streams, I don't necessarily... like when I produce a video, I try to make sure it's really quite quality. Even my new tutorial series has a really more professional level to it, even though it's got a lot of comedy mixed in and jokes and things like that. But to me, streaming is the exact opposite. People come for the entertainment. They come for me to the interaction, the chat. You know, they come to have a good time, a break necessarily. So it's interesting. Your take on streams. I think that's an interesting topic of discussion.
It's true. It's kind of a different culture between Twitch and YouTube, maybe. Do you think there's something about that?
But I mean, streams in general, they usually kind of function more to be like a party, a live party. Because if you think about what we're talking about right now, it might serve your viewers better if you take this, because you've stated your intention of what you want it to be. It might be better if we take this and record it beforehand, because it's somewhat different from the average stream format of what people would expect in that way. And then you might set up something like a I don't know how to put it, like a suggestion box or comment box, and then we could do weekly question, you know, or something like that.
That sounds useful too.
Yeah.
Personally, I just don't have the time to do it. So streaming live is the only way for me to actually still get to do anything publicly, really, because I only have to spend the time on it that I'm live, basically. So that's actually the only reason.
That makes sense. Yeah. My streams are usually a little bit more, well, they're more like a different format. But I think it's an interesting, the diametric opposement, as they call it, which is good.
So tell me about your streams. How do you deal with it? What's your goal with it?
Man, it's balls to the wall. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna work hard, and we're gonna have a good time while we do it. Like, the goal, the absolute goal of a stream for me is to have fun with it and just go crazy, you know? Just as if you were sitting with the people on a couch playing a video game with them, which I rarely do. But if you're modeling or something like that, it's just to just let some stress off. Not be professional, be the opposite. Just go absolutely crazy, you know? I mean, there are things that you should never say that are messed up. There are things you should never do, and I'm not talking about that kind of crazy where people end their careers like filming a dead body.
Oh, that topic. Yeah, sure.
Which we could talk about that one. I'm not angry in the sense I was when I had heard about it, so it can be unbiased and be honest about that kind of topic. But what I'm saying is, like, be a decent human being and have as much fun as you can within the time you stream. That's what I'm about.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the enjoyment is a big argument for people to go and watch it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's just, I think it's interesting comparing the two different styles of it. God, I cannot get this hair right.
I have a little story about streaming actually. Once, a very long time ago, I tried doing it just once, and
oh no,
that was my mistake on Google Plus, and it happened to be really public. I like public in a sense of anybody could join. I don't know how Google managed it at that time. I really still have no idea. But what happened was that really weird people would join, and yeah. Sorry guys, my story time is really short. Somebody got excited.
I think they're long stories, my man, but you end up just shortening, like, okay, this is what
because
happened.
Because like it's not really interesting in my opinion. Okay, that's my mistake to just assume that. But I feel like,
you're always saying, have more confidence.
Yeah, I have confidence in sculpting and art. Should I draw something for a change, by the way? I'm thinking about opening Photoshop and painting something. Not that I'm good at it. Okay, I'm just gonna do that.
I'm definitely feeling that. I'm gonna read a few comments so that we don't start a riot.
Do so.
All right, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna just scroll up a little bit, and then we're gonna go crazy.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, this stream guy says harp. I think we're both stream guys. Unless someone lied about my birth certificate. Where's the girl from the other stream? Are you speaking of the former guest that was had on the show, Albane Edge?
Yeah, she's downstairs.
Go get her.
Just because I'm living in a dorm, but
she's making pancakes downstairs.
I'm glad that people remember her. Would love to have another conversation with her.
She was fun to talk to.
I think she could have spoken a lot more. She might actually be listening today too. She listens often, awesome. But I felt like she was a bit reserved. But she has many interesting opinions.
Indeed. All right, this one's at you, Daniel. At Daniel Coiter. Do you take requests for your stream? Says Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley.
Okay. Do you guys want me to draw something in particular? Let's try it. If there is a good suggestion, I'll be happy to take it up.
Ooh, dang. Albane Edge is going in ham. Daniel, did you put a ring on her finger yet? Talking about Tanzania,
no.
I believe.
No.
You know, I cannot say her name properly. Could you pronounce it for me? So I can stop butchering it.
Tasnim, I think. It's weird because first name, and I don't even know if it's the family name, but they're like so similar, the two names.
Ah,
I'm not even.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I call her Tasnim anyways.
MD's right. You'll scare that girl away with that kind of talk, Albane Edge. I don't know what who says, or HW0 says, I like to come here and listen to the art talks. I come here to listen to both of them and also hear story time. Story time is wonderful.
Story times are fun.
Mr. Bradley says, ask questions in a robotic format. Man, don't turn into a robot on us just yet. My eyes are kind of dead after watching anime from 12 a.m. to 6. Who else is similar? Why would you do that to yourself, my man?
You could have, been working in ZBrush for like 10 hours in that time. That was an unnecessary comment, I know.
Let's see, Douglas Rosa. Definitely, I moderate on stream and YouTube on Twitch, and Twitch is way more chill than YouTube. I have timed people out a few times in the stream. Y'all haven't met Oscar then. Y'all don't know Oscar.
Who's Oscar?
If you think Twitch is calm, you have never had a wild Oscar come in your stream.
Wild Oscar?
No, Oscar. Like Japanese Oscar, not Oscar, but Oscar.
Okay.
Oscar's a champ, though. Oscar's like that prized fighting champion. You set him in a ring with another, like, weirdo, he'll tear him apart every time. Alright, Mr. Bradley dropped another one. Daniel Coiter, Millennium, whoever is taking suggestions for a theme on a model for stream. Sounds like fun. You know what? If you guys have a suggestion what I should do with this current model I'm working on, drop it. I'm going to do it if it's good. Alright, someone posted an elephant. I'm down with the elephant. Lovely 3D model, says Suvi. Well, Twitch can have some questionable people too. It all depends on the day. You're right about that, Ryu. Story time. Daniel this time. I know, but he cut it short. Do you want to take the rest of those? It's just the last page.
The comments?
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can read English.
Because they were getting pretty mad, my man. They were like a hornet nest that we've been shaking up.
Can you sculpt sitting on a couch? Actually, should I do that? Are more people interested in that? I can try to pose the character and show a little bit how I go about posing a sculpt. Might be interesting.
And I think he's talking about having like an actual an actual live like camera of you on the couch.
Is that, look, that's what I mean by if you leave the comments up to me, I'll just not understand English anymore.
But again, I don't know if that's true. Could you clarify, Pilot? I'm sorry, keep going. Keep going, Daniel.
Well, I'm sitting on a chair, not on a couch. I think a couch that's kind of very low is uncomfortable to work from, so that's that. So, what else do we have here? Daniel and Millennium always sound like highly cold intellectuals in their videos.
I don't understand why they say cult. Like, what do you mean by that?
Cultural, intellectual.
I think they mean like occultists.
In that sense. Well, look at in how many ways you can read comments. It's amazing. There's never a
Please clarify.
answer to every question from now on.
Alright, let me find a good reference of this, what's her name? Sona. The Sona from the League of Legends, from the LoL. Whoa! Oh, dude, this one will be easy.
Yeah, comments might happen to be read out of context. I'm sorry for that. Mr. Bradley commented that.
Oh, cult hit. Eternal. Oh no! Ryu's figured it out. All those jobs I have to leave for in the middle of the streams, Ryu's figured it out. Okay.
Hey, but
Oscar's...
make a character on a couch. I think I got it right.
Okay, there we go. I was wrong.
But I was just about to draw though. Look, it's Photoshop. Okay, I'll go
We actually
back to
can't see
ZBrush.
it. It's still ZBrush.
Thanks for telling me. Okay, that's awkward now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then I'm in ZBrush. Then there is no Photoshop for you guys, for now at least.
Okay. Whoever chose the Soma girl, you're gonna get your wish granted, my man.
I had already started like a little painting.
That'll do for the hairpiece. Alright. I'm gonna use my magic super duper powers of something or other. We're gonna make this happen, alright? For that, let me save this real quick, just in case I mess it up.
Very important. Always save.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I quickly want to mention a little bit about how I go about posing a character, if that's fine. So in ZBrush there are a few tools that make it very easy, and I quickly want to mention them. So I will just hide for a second the irrelevant objects. That is because there are like many objects, I kind of only want to select the legs for now, because that's the first object I will start with. And I'm lucky that these objects are already separated, I can basically just put my cursor, my origin, I basically hold down Alt and I click to where the joint is, and that positions the origin of my transformation. And with that in place, I can basically just rotate it and move it around and get the legs into shape. But you see, with the next joint, it's going to be a bit more difficult, as this is one object. I would have to mask it out properly, and so one easy way to do it is to switch to this old kind of, I don't know what to call it, this old gizmo for transformation. And if you hold Control and then you drag this across the model, you can easily select one part of the body, like this one. And so again, you place your transformation origin where it's kind of useful to, and then you can just rotate it downwards and move it into place, similar way. And so you do this, of course, more properly. You know, you might want to work without symmetry on. You could, you know, make one leg like stretch it out a little bit more to make it interesting. That's up to you. And once you have that, what I like to do is I finish it sort of off by applying Dynamesh on it, get the whole mesh together once again, and from there on you will be sculpting with a clay brush or something, just to fix all the distortions. With normal rigging, we'd have the issue that, you know, this is an unacceptable result. Like here, for example, I made a big mistake by not realizing that the mask was a little bit off. But as we can just sculpt it and fix it afterwards, it really doesn't matter if the distortion is not very beautiful at the first step. You just go back and kind of fix your mistakes and resculpt some areas and do all the deformations. And bringing this couch back into place, well, this is how it could have looked like, and this is how I would go about posing. I hope it helped a little bit. Anyways, that's it.
Awesome.
Little,
I actually wanted
lesson
to watch that while you were doing it. Now I can start deleting these. I just used the live boolean operator. What? Oh, is that it? Hold on, let me see that.
Oh, Boolean. Don't make me jealous.
I'm not going to, because I think I just messed it up, actually. Because...
You have it saved, though. You're safe.
Nope, I got it. I was just making the hair thingies.
Okay.
I mean, I had it saved, but I don't like going back and redoing the same thing over and over again.
Oh my god, I had this one time where I lost so much progress on my project. I just stopped it because I didn't have the motivation.
Oh no, that's horrible, my man.
Yeah.
Wait, what the... That's not the right one. I think I deleted the wrong one. Hold on.
Subtool?
I need to append. There it is. We're happy now.
Okay.
I'm gonna get rid of that ear for now. I'm not even gonna model the ear. Why are you... Okay. Alright, Daniel, give us one of your famous topics and let's go.
Okay. Let me quickly come up with one. Well, it's kind of a bit random, but I felt like it's a little nice topic to talk about. What do you prefer, settling down or traveling? Like, yeah. You can ask me for further definition. I'll leave it here for now.
I'll be completely honest with you, man. I don't know why my voice is shaking. I sound all intense. I like settling down.
That's great, because then we have something to discuss about. What are the advantages of settling down?
Man, I'm just looking for the place I feel at home. I've never really felt home anywhere. I can't say that this or that place is the place I belong, or no.
So my view on it is that whenever I think about making a decision that will keep me at one place, that will kind of decide my life from there on, it kind of scares me always, because I feel like, but there should have been more I can do. It can't be that this is already it, basically.
Yeah.
So I was curious on other views on that. Like, I really can understand this view of, you settle down, you get to know everything, you're like 100% comfortable, you know everybody around you. But then what? What do you think about that?
I think that the nature of settling down in one particular place is trying to find what your happiness is.
By the way, the chat doesn't believe you. You settling down?
Wait, me? Me? Yeah, of course. I don't mean like getting married, but I mean like finding a place I like to live and getting a nice job. You guys must think I'm some kind of like pig playboy or something. Like a man pig or something. I don't know. No, I don't like the town I'm in. I did not like. I spent 12 years in the desert. You know what I mean? And I had some good friends there, but they pretty much all moved on with their life. And for me, it's just a question of where am I gonna feel most at home? Where is home? That's why I want to settle down. I want to find that good place, and afterwards, I would like to travel maybe once a year. But for the most part, when you find that place that brings you happiness, where you can meet up with, let's say, a group of colleagues that you work with every day, or a group of friends every night and do karaoke or something like that. I say that because I'm looking at my PA system. I was singing earlier today. I think that's when you really kind of find what we're all looking for. We're all looking for love. We all want to be loved. Everyone, I believe. A lot of us, I think we get damaged along the way, and we don't know exactly what love is. We don't know exactly what we're searching for, so we start equating things that aren't love. But
your greatest fan is back.
My greatest fan. Is it Wishing Iris? Because she's your greatest fan.
No.
Let me check.
Lucy,
oh, it's Justin Chewy. Lucy's back. I felt bad. I felt so bad after you wrote that comment on my newest video. You're like, well, that was or you're like, that was brutal. And I'm like, I don't know if I actually commented, but I'm like, dude, I put a warning. I meant to say that it was bad. And then I felt bad after making that video, because I'm like, hey guys, last stream I was like, hey guys, come over to my channel, come subscribe. I'm coming out with a new tutorial series, and it took me like 5 days. Yeah, it took me 6 days to get it out. Finally out, by the way. But and then like 2 hours later, I posted another video, and it's like that subtle hint that you're playing a Yoko Taro game, and it's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. Oh no.
So continuing a little bit on the topic before, I look at it as in, or it's maybe just that I do want to experience both for sure, because I really like the idea of having a place where you can continue for many years to work on getting everything right. But at the same time, I really want to experience once the freedom of basically going to any place I want, well, within Japan, because I'm interested in this area in particular. But for a while I just want to be free to travel around here and to join projects and efforts all around the country all the time. So I'm kind of interested in getting some sort of very mobile setup that I can travel with around here and just go around, meet many people. This is kind of also connecting to my effort of trying to find all these talented people around the country and trying to get together and initiate something that we can, talk. And I really want, for example, to just travel to all the universities in Japan and to visit all the the clubs that are there that have anything to do with art, and just visit all of them once and talk to the people there. That sounds so fulfilling to me, to just go around to share motivation, inspiration, to just talk about art, and to enriching each other's lives through that.
Interesting. I wish you the best with that project.
It will be great, but I'll talk more about that when the time is ready for it. I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
When the third crow of the rooster rises over the moon, you know. I know what you mean. Okay. I think I know exactly what I need to do with this one. I'm looking at pictures of League of Legends to get this. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing. So now, I'm gonna do the easy part and just go in here and, oh, take off symmetry. Solo this. Come on.
I'm really starting to like this sort of background music. I never really had the appreciation for it, but it's so nice today.
I have no idea what's actually playing, but I can tell you're really enjoying yourself, because normally stream would have ended by now. We've been going for quite a while.
Yeah, I think we can like do another 15 minutes for today. I wasn't going to take it on forever anyways, but yeah, I'm having a good time.
Oh, that's good to hear. It'd be bad if you're in your own stream and you're like, I'm not having fun. I want to go home.
Well, if that's the case, yeah, I guess you'd have to fix something.
Millennium, you're not allowed in the stream anymore.
I'm still waiting for my other friend to come on the stream, by the way. Like, there is another person that I invited like a long time ago, and he always is saying that he wants really to come and talk here, but
yeah,
he's really
probably
busy.
watched
I'm
an
busy.
episode of it.
No,
and
it's just
like,
that
no.
we'll never find the time. We always forget to set it up on time. So basically that's it.
Okay.
Maybe sometime soon. Oh, by the way, talking about sometime soon, I feel like I should mention like the videos that I plan to upload on character modeling are recorded, but it will take me a while to edit them all and to make the voiceover of them. So if there is anybody waiting for that, please don't be impatient. Please don't expect them to come out in this week or next week. It will probably take longer, but just know that I'm working on it. That's all I just quickly wanted to say, if there's anybody waiting for it.
I think we're all waiting for it, Daniel. We've been waiting for that for a very long time.
It's just that, I have exams coming up now. Like, I have 1 month left to this semester, and then I'm free again. But these last
I thought your semester finished already.
I just have a quick break right now for Christmas and New Year, but on Monday I'll start again, and then all the really hard stuff is coming, and well, if I survive, then I'll be free in February, mid-February.
If I survive.
Yeah, everybody who attends university knows what I mean. Or you don't even have to attend university, any school.
You're like, oh shoot, I forgot. Millennium's never been to a university.
I didn't mean it that way.
He's just self-educated. It's not like he matters.
I didn't mean it in that way.
Sure. I'm just playing.
But because Justin is saying that I should stop streaming and focus on my finals, I don't think that they get more priority than this. I mean, quite honestly speaking though, like in my career, I see myself doing modeling and characters, and I really need to be good at it. In comparison, I know that I can graduate easily with good grades, even if I don't give it 100%. So I might not have a 4.0 GPA, of course, but I can still live with that in comparison to ending up not knowing enough about character art, which is the way bigger challenge. So maybe I went a bit too serious on that comment, but just thought it's maybe interesting to share.
Yeah, you just roast that person like, I can do what I want. I'm gonna be a character artist. I don't need to study. Don't tell me to go to my room, Mom.
What I want to say is that it's often appears like, you know, you can't do art because you have to work hard in school, but that shouldn't be an excuse. Even if you have to make a compromise and give up on other aspects of your life, if you decide to take art serious, you know, that's a very valid decision, and it's possible to manage both.
Night Cook. Goodness, who was it? It was Mr. Bradley. Let's see if he's happy with what we're doing real fast.
I love the name. Is it from a movie or something?
Bradley.
I feel like I heard it from the name Mr. Bradley. I feel like I heard that somewhere.
Maybe Full Metal Alchemist? Pity Party for One Mil. Yeah. Full Metal Alchemist, you know, Bradley.
I don't know.
The dude with the big muscles.
Really? He was called Bradley?
I'm pretty sure he was.
I have no memory of that.
Oh.
Oh wow, we have someone in the chat who dropped out of school to become a book illustrator. On the third book now.
Oh hell yeah, man. I dropped out of school as well.
That's amazing. I mean, especially that you actually succeeded in that, too, Marvin.
Down with the system! I mean, good for you, man.
Can I ask a question to Marvin quickly? I'm wondering, because, you know, you drop out of school and then maybe you get to do a career, and it was a very good decision because you get your whole career and everything. How did it affect your social life, though? Because you miss out on the things, as in, you know, having a place where there are people around you all the time. Did you manage that as well? Or are there things that you think still that schools would offer you that cannot easily be replaced outside? That would be what I would be most scared of. If I would just drop out, I'm sure I could grow faster at art than, you know, doing it both at the same time. But I just feel like I would be missing out on things, as I'm not here for studying really, I'm more here to meet the people. Curious about that. Is that hair or ears?
Hair.
Just kidding.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Daniel. Like I said, I'm not good at making hair like this. This isn't my thing. That's why I'm doing it, so I can get better.
It reminds me of Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of this character, and her hair is just kind of flying everywhere. Awesome.
Fancy.
Her chin is too wide for this character. Yeah, that's better. Yep. So, what games is everyone looking forward to? I rarely talk about this kind of stuff, but Daniel, is there anything you're looking forward to this year?
I would like to know what I should better be looking forward to. I don't know much about things going on.
I mean, I'm not really a gamer. I used to be competitive, but like now I don't really play with anyone or anything.
The only game
what-
that... Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
The only one that I kind of liked because it was kind of connected to my childhood is Trickmania. A kind of a car racing game, but I just happened to have played it a lot during my childhood, and so it's kind of fun because, you know, when you can actually play it, you feel all amazing doing all these drifts and stuff. It's just fun. Sometimes when I'm when I have some free time, I play it. Anyways, your turn.
You should learn how to drift in real life, my man. There's nothing like it.
I wish I could get a driver license first, you know.
Just get one. Well, I know it's harder in Japan.
The problem is that I don't read enough Japanese yet. I could learn it, I guess, but the exam would be very difficult for me because I would have to read all the questions in Japanese.
I'll tell you, man, you'll never feel more alive going 60 miles an hour down a canyon road with no guardrail, single lane, drifting.
No thanks.
On sand, in a Honda with no real drift experience. You're just figuring out as you go. You do it. You know what I mean? You will never feel more alive.
It sounds like you have a story that you want to tell.
What?
It sounds like you have a story to tell.
I think that was the story, man. I felt alive.
Okay.
I was like, man, I don't feel alive anymore. I want to feel alive because I had met this dude, and he was a traveler, and I wasn't having a good day. And I met this guy on the freeway, and he's trying to get up to this place, and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to go up to Kennedy Meadows, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll take you there. He's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I can give you some gas, man. I'm like, nah, dude, my treat. You know, I'm not feeling very well, so sometimes you do a nice thing for a stranger, you know, when you're not feeling good. So I decide, yeah, I'm gonna take this guy up to Kennedy Meadows. So I go and I drive. It's like a 2-hour drive. I drive him up, and then when I come back down, and I'm like, this is like miles and miles of canyon road. There's no one on this. I can do whatever I want. I'm not feeling very alive. You know what? I bet you what? That guy out there is feeling more alive than I am because he's walking everywhere. He's living his life. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. I'm just kind of just here. I'm just kind of here today, gone tomorrow, not really doing anything. I want to be more like that guy and live my life. I'm like, I don't feel worthy to be alive, but you know what? I bet you if I drift down this mountain and survive, then I'll be worthy. By the way, I don't recommend doing this. This is a really bad idea. But in that moment,
to point out.
Yeah, it's good to point out on that one. But like, I was like, you know what? I don't feel worthy to be alive. If I can survive this, if I can do this, and walk out alive, then I was worthy to live, man. I did. And I had a great time drifting down that mountain. I've never been more afraid in my life. But I felt at peace. I stuck my head out the window after I rolled down the window, and I was just like, oh yeah, bring it. It's a good time.
Oh well.
You know, that was my story time. Your turn, Daniel.
Story time, huh? I just live on a mountain. I never go downtown.
Oh, dude, that's perfect for drifting. You're halfway there.
I mean, like, I live on a mountain, as in I don't see much of what's going on.
You just need that road and that Hachiroku, man.
Well,
that 8-6.
So
Chat knows it all.
How about we just take some, if anybody has anything to talk about, last questions, and otherwise call it a day. It's quite nice, 2 hours now.
Sounds good to me. I was getting afraid that chat was going to revolt and kill us because we weren't taking their question.
Oh, it's alright. I mean, I hope we can like, you know, there are like very good comments in that really should be answered, in my opinion. It's just hard to, while talking, make a good selection. So I just hope we can get better at doing that, and hopefully get more people interacting. It's difficult, like I really try, but
I understand. I'm actually getting a little tired of sculpting, because honestly, I haven't really sculpted in like a month. I haven't really been doing any sculpting. I'm working on other stuff, and it's nice to get back to it though.
I tried to look at the link that Mr. Bradley sent, but it doesn't really work.
I didn't know he sent a link. I hadn't checked it out.
It's kind of
I've been
curious.
kind of intensely working on this real quick.
He shared what he's working on apparently, but I'm sorry, but the link doesn't seem to work. Yeah, of course I removed the brackets and wrote a dot. No, but I don't know. And to Aesthetic Pigeon, do we work on things other than characters?
I do, but I don't show that work. It's hidden away, my man.
For me, right now I really focus on characters. Right now, not really, but eventually.
One day we will know the truth. Here, I'll read a few comments too. I'm trying to make this thing, the Soma, happen. I'm happy with the Sona progress. Heck yeah. Good. Just went and see it. I see what you mean. Does anyone know some good anatomy learning resources for free? Lomain, I can recommend you to a great starting tutorial series. They've only got the first episode out, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good anatomy series. If you're interested. The link to the channel is in the chat. It's Millennium VR Eternal, and it's the second most recent episode, or the second most recent video. It's an ongoing tutorial series. But if you have ZBrush, a really good anatomy reference would be the Ryan Kingslion skeleton. A Zeta, that's right. A ZBrush tutorial from amateur artist by an amateur artist. A Zeta. It's gonna be fun when we tackle the face.
I'm kind of done.
You're kind of done?
Like, it's not a finished sculpt, but you could call it a sketch. Alright, shall we call it a day then?
I think we shall, my friend.
It was
Thanks again
fun.
for having me on.
It was
Yes.
fun. I got some time to sculpt, and I hope you got some too. From this.
I kind of want to finish this now, because I'm so in... What's the word? I want to make this look good.
And, oh yeah, we got some people motivated too in the chat. I really like how Kayla has this attitude of, asking questions and, getting motivated. I wouldn't be surprised if he's also modeling along in ZBrush.
That'd be nice.
Do your best. Do your best. I'm really looking forward. Okay. Well, that's all for today then. Thanks everybody for watching.
All, folks.
And definitely go and check out Millennium's tutorial series. I'm pretty sure it must be great.
Oh, it is.
Alright.
Not to toot my own horn, but it's pretty good, my man.
See you guys next week then.